Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Molly and I make motherhood and lifestyle videos. Today's video is going to be kind of geared towards the more military side of my life. I wanted to put together this video as I know a lot of people are unfortunately coming up on deployments with everything that is going on in the world. Just to try to help somebody out there who may be worried or maybe looking for a way to kind of help make their relationship work during such a hard time. So my husband and I came up with some tips as he is overseas at the moment. He has been over there for about 9 months now, and it has definitely been a testing period for us. We have learned a lot and we have grown a lot from it. If I could go back and change it, I honestly don't think I would, but honestly, I don't think we would be like where we're at today without have gone through this stage of our life. Not saying I'm a pro, you'll find tons of videos out there like this. We just kind of gathered the tips that were most important to us, and hopefully they help some of you out there as well. Sorry guys, my camera was totally falling. So I have my notes here, which are nice and crumpled up because little Miss Gracie May got a hold of them. Just a little backstory, this is actually the second time I filmed this video. The first time the lighting was just not great, so I didn't want to go through the whole work of trying to fix everything, so I'm just refilming it. But we are just gonna hop right on in. Okay, so my first tip is going to be probably the most basic tip that you've ever heard in your entire life, and you may be thinking why is she even saying this one? But it is such a basic foundation to any relationship, and that is trust and communication. Now, like I said, literally every relationship needs to have this, otherwise things just aren't going to be good for you. Okay, if you can't trust your partner and if you don't have good communication with them, you might as well just end the relationship right now. There is no way a relationship can work without those things. I'm sorry that sounds a little bit harsh, but it's the truth. And especially in a long distance type of relationship where you have limited communication anyways, away from your spouse for long periods of time, this is literally crucial to your relationship surviving. Pretty much the biggest thing with this is just don't be shady. Basically, don't give your partner a reason to worry. There should be no secrets at all in a long distance relationship, because honestly, that just opens doors to create many more problems down the way. If you're keeping secrets and if you're doing things that you're not telling your spouse because you know it's going to create an argument, that's your first problem right there. I think it's important to set boundaries beforehand. I know people who are on deployment work really hard. They have long hours, they're worked like dogs, literally. So I know whenever they get the chance to go out, people do go out. They just have no sense of anything and they're just trying to get a release from it all. When you're in a relationship, that's not a great situation. A lot of the times that's how a lot of mistakes get made, whether they're intentional or not. So that's why I think it's important to kind of set those boundaries beforehand. For example, with me and my husband, I'm fine if he goes out to eat or if they go out every once in a while. Where the problem happens for me is if he was going out every single day off that he had, or if he was going and blowing all of our money at the club or something like that. That's where that would be an issue for me. We talk about it and we tell each other listen, probably not going to be that comfortable with you doing that, or I don't really think that's a good idea, or I would appreciate it if you didn't do this. So really kind of setting those boundaries beforehand, I feel is so important. It's kind of setting your relationship up for success before anything bad even gets the chance to come in the picture. Don't put yourself in a situation that would make you uncomfortable if it was the other way around. Really try to think about what you're about to do and be would my wife appreciate this, or would this concern my husband? It's really kind of putting yourself in the other person's shoes to see how they would feel. And like I said, guys, literally it's relationship advice 101, but you gotta trust your partner and you gotta be on the same page about these things. Otherwise, it is just a recipe for disaster. So hopping into tip number 2, it kind of ties in with the first one, and that is don't let someone else's failed relationship affect yours. That also sounds a little bit harsh when you say it like that. There's a lot of people who go into long distance relationships that don't prepare beforehand. And unfortunately, they do fail. People love to fill your head with these fears. Now, whether it's something they're self-conscious of themselves or what, just don't listen to them. Every relationship is different, and the only person that has effects on your relationship is you and your partner. So just don't even give it the chance. Just, if they say so-and-so's relationship didn't work out, just say, well, I'm sorry to hear that about them, but my relationship is different and that's not going to happen if I'm not going to let it. You're the only one that can make changes or control your relationship. And as long as you're doing things right, and as long as you're sticking to your guys' boundaries and guidelines and respecting each other, your relationship is going to work out just fine. My third tip kind of ties in with that one as well. You'll kind of find these tips all kind of like correlate with each other in some way, shape, or form. Never go to bed angry with each other, and never leave an argument unfinished. It is so important to always come to some type of conclusion about whatever argument you're having. Being apart, there's no way to just like hug and make up. It's really important that you guys like use your words in a positive way to try to figure out some kind of conclusion. It's really hard being apart from your significant other. It creates a lot of different emotions, and sometimes that can cause people to react in different ways that they normally would. So say you're upset about something small, it can cause you to kind of like lash out and say hurtful things that you may not necessarily mean to say. Within arguments, really try to remember to not allow that to happen. There's no sense in holding on to a grudge. If it is something that's really heated, and if you guys are both really angry, then you need to be like, I need to kind of cool my head a little bit. I love you and I really want to work through this, but right now I just need to take a moment so I don't say something hurtful. Like I said, it's just one of those rules of life. Like, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just forgive and love, and everyone will be able to sleep better after that's done. So tip number 4 is a little bit lighter, and that is going to be never stop trying for your partner. Now, this can go a lot of different directions, but what it all stems back to is kind of like keeping the love tank full. Keep telling your wife that she looks beautiful. Keep telling your husband that his muscles look good. Or, like, never stop trying to say those things that is going to really lift up your significant other. When you're separate from each other, your relationship is solely based on making the other person feel loved with what's coming out of your mouth. Words are so important. When you're apart, that is literally the sole foundation of your relationship. Don't be afraid to let your spouse know how you're feeling, whether that's good or whether it's bad. You just need to be open with them and tell them exactly what you're feeling, because they can't look at your body language and see what's going on. It's so important to not go blank. If you go blank, there is no way for your significant other to read you. If you're not explaining what's going on, then how are they supposed to know what to do to make you feel better? It's really important not to check out, because unfortunately, if you check out, your spouse is going to check out too. It's important to still keep doing those kind of like random acts of kindness. My husband is really great about sending me flowers. He doesn't send them every week, but every once in a while, when I'm having like a rough day with the baby, or if I'm just having a down day, he's so great about just sending flowers. And that's something that's so thoughtful, and it's about like the only thing he can do from where he's at right now to kind of like show those little displays of kindness. Now, he's really good about sending cute little texts and, lifting me up and, you look beautiful today, even when I look like a hot mess, or, just cute little things like that really help kind of like lift up your spouse. But it's just those kind of things that really help kind of build your relationship even though you're apart. Obviously, for all of us spouses that are over here, sending care packages is kind of like our little thing that we can do for our spouses to make them feel better. I personally try to send a box per month to Cody, and he loves it. I always try to like decorate the inside of the box, or, just put little pieces of home in the box, because when they're far away and they're missing home, those little things mean the world to them. Another thing that Cody and I do is we do have a notebook, which, by the way, Cody, you need to mail me the notebook. We have a notebook that we send back and forth to each other, and it's always just kind of nice. And honestly, in that notebook, it is just packed full of love notes. And my favorite thing to do when I get the notebook is just kind of like go back and reread what was written in there. It's all that mushy gushy lovey stuff. It's good to read back and see like what we're looking forward to in the future, or like what our hopes and dreams for our relationship are, or what we're looking forward most to when he's coming home. It's just really nice to be able to look back and see that. And also someday down the road when our kids are looking at it, and they can make fun of us, but at the end of the day, they'll know how much their parents loved each other. So yes, always continuing to lift your significant other up is going to be so important, and being away from each other. My last tip for you guys may or may not apply. If it does, great. If it doesn't, great. But for myself and my husband, it is one of the most important parts of our relationship, and that is always pray for your spouse. It's so important to just be praying for them in aspects of their role in your relationship or what they have coming in the future. Just like, you've lifted them up in your relationship, but it's important to lift them up in prayer as well. It's just so important to constantly be thinking of your partner in that aspect and really just praying for the best for them. Honestly, like I said, it may or may not apply to you, but for myself and my husband, it is literally one of the most important things in our relationship. But if you haven't ever tried it, maybe just try and see how it feels. All right, everybody, so that is going to wrap up today's video. I really do hope that some of this was helpful to someone out there. If you have any tips that got you through your long distance relationship or through your deployment, please go ahead and leave them down below. My goal with my channel is really to be a strong community for each other. I want everyone to be able to engage with each other in positive ways and really kind of help lift each other up in difficult times or in happy times. So if you would, please go ahead and leave them below for anyone else who is looking. And then as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you liked today's video and want to see more videos by me, don't be afraid to hit that red subscribe button down below so you can see all of my future videos. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye guys.